Hey everyone, today is April 30th, 2023. So later this week, on May 5th, we're going to have a flower moon total lunar eclipse. So the flower moon is the first full moon in the month of May. And this image in iPet Goat 2, like all the images, are multi-layered, but I also think it relates to an event surrounding this year's flower moon eclipse. But before I talk about May 5th in more detail, I'm just going to run through the whole week and look at some connections that I have. And one of the things that I think is going to happen that I've been talking about the past couple videos is some type of mass nationalized shooting. It could be a school shooting. It could be, I think it's something to do with causing racial tensions in the U.S., causing some type of large reaction. But I want to start with May 1st because the word mass shooting in itself is 51 in reduction. And of course, May 1st is 5/1. And we begin this date with a 161 year, 11 months, 11 days, dates reversed from the beginning of the Civil War. So when I look at that, I see I just call it upside down 9/11 connection, because I look at that 9/11 and 322 code and I see it connecting all the time. And we also have this TV movie, Civil War, 32 years, 220 days apart. And the word American Civil War does equal 161. May 2nd, we also have the connection with the Civil War and the 322 connection to the school gun law. I'm not so heavily focused on May 1st and May 2nd, but more of my concern begins on May 3rd, the 123rd day of the year. The LC equals 123, or upside down C7 from Obama's perspective. That's his shoe. He's looking down at the apple. That is 37. C7 is 37. And of course, as I mentioned before, on the 37th day of the year, we had the Turkey earthquake. Well, that also happened to be on the longitude and latitude of both 37. Now we're just flipping it around, and it equals 123. But as you can see, we have this 9/11 connection to the release date of iPet Goat 2. And here are some things that I found in the past connecting to iPet Goat 2's release date. A lot of these events were mass shootings. One of them was Russia invading Ukraine 116 months after Pet Goat's release date. So looking further into May 3rd, I have these connections that are all related. A 322 connection to George Floyd being killed. Also Rodney King being beaten by the police. A 322 connection to the TV movie Civil War. Also the movie Gettysburg being released. The 30th anniversary since Guns N' Roses released the song called Civil War. And of course, the upside down 9/11 connection with the Civil War beginning. And the assault weapons ban being expired. The 322 connection with that. So I previously showed you guys in another video how the assault weapons ban had a 9/11 connection to the second deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. and also the recent Nashville school shootings. Now taking a look at May 4th, the word elementary mass school shooting equals 349 and 124. Well, it happened to be the deadliest elementary school shooting in U.S. history was Sandy Hook, 28 killed. Well, that was on the 349th day of the year at the first cipher. Well, the second cipher in reduction is 124. May 4th is the 124th day of the year, but what makes it a little more significant is because we have this 322 connection to the 1990 school gun law being established. And I pointed out several times in my other videos how this classroom scene from Pet Goat related to several school shootings as well as other mass shootings. And George Bush, he makes the sign of the devil horn. It could be him pointing a gun as well. This begins at the 54th second in the video, like 5/4. It actually lasts until the 57th second in the video. But what's interesting about this year's flower moon total lunar eclipse is that it will be the third in a row in the month of May. Because back on May 25th to 26th, we had a flower moon total lunar eclipse. The following year, last year, we had another flower moon total lunar eclipse on May 15th, 16th. I was looking at something that happened surrounding that as well. It actually turned out that on May 18th, 2 days later, we had the first case of monkeypox in the US. And we had this 22 connection to Obama's birthday, which relates to the letter V falling down his forehead. V is the 22nd letter, like George Floyd being killed with 220 days remaining. Or something falling, this drips down his head. We had the stock market crash beginning in 2020 on 2/20/2020. But back on that flower moon eclipse in 2021 of a boat sinking in Nigeria, killing 98 people. So see the connection, them using Obama and African American, George Floyd being killed, the flower moon eclipse, people from Africa being killed in Nigeria, first case of monkeypox, monkey being a racial slur for an African American. So you see what they're doing? They're using Obama and African American relating to George Floyd being killed, an African American, the flower moon eclipse, people from Africa being killed, 98 people, the first case of monkeypox in the US, monkey being a racial slur for an African American. So that's also another reason why, besides the connections that I showed you with the shootings, the Civil War, George Floyd being killed, Rodney King being beaten, we're going to see something else related to Black people, African Americans, some type of race war that I believe surrounding this flower moon eclipse. So now we look at the exact date of May 5th, that total lunar eclipse, and you can see that we have a perfect 322 connection to Obama's birth date. 3,222 weeks since Obama was born. We also have a big 9/11 connection to the release date of I, Pet, Goat 2. The Civil War, the movie Gettysburg being released, and also released in the United States as well. Rodney King being beaten, a perfect 322 connection with the assault weapons ban. And lastly, at the bottom, May 5th equals 33, like race war equaling 33. But I want to talk about one more date, and that's 2 days after the flower moon eclipse. We once again have the 322 connection to Obama's birthday. I mentioned that this could also represent an erupting volcano. We have the 9/11 connection to the movie Pompeii being released. But there's one other image that relates to an erupting volcano. It's this right here. It's actually the thumbnail from Pet Goat. This could be a volcano or a nuclear explosion. We have the ash coming down as well. This scene is called Pieta, and Pieta has to do with the Virgin Mary mourning the death of her son. So May 7th will be the first Sunday in the month of May. And in Italy, they do the celebration where the Black Madonna of the Sacred Mount of Viggiano is carried out every year in 2 separate events. On the first Sunday of May, a solemn procession brings the statue from the Church of Viggiana to the sanctuary of the Sacred Mount. Then they return it back in September. So this could be an erupting volcano surrounding this flower moon eclipse. But also this image from Pet Goat could be related to the Black Madonna of May 7th. So that's all I got for this video. We'll see what happens. I'll talk to you guys next time.